These are the journeys of Star Wars, Galaxy of Heroes. Every player must decide what journey you will take. Greetings and hello there, everybody. It's me, your beloved Star Wars dad, Nooch Too Good. I leave for the milk and I come back with the milk. And yeah, I had a good idea. Somebody presented me an idea yesterday. Hey, can you give me a beginner's guide for journeys? They were asking me about one of the journeys on here. I think it was the Cal Kestis journey. They're like, should I do this as a new player? Should I not? And you know, we've been making a lot of beginner's guides. I have not covered the journeys. What we're going to do today is a high-level overview of these journeys to talk about them. We're not going to get in-depth, but we'll talk about each one, where it falls in the game, how easy or difficult it is comparatively, and how the character mashes out as far as early, mid, end game, late game, whatever. So we'll talk about all those things here. High level, everybody, high level. So let's start at the very top. We'll start at the very beginning. Palpatine here. The Palpatine journey is relatively easy. You can do it with a like a Gear 8 Phoenix team or a Gear 8 kind of like a Rebel team. It needs all Rebels to do it. It is a journey you can do early in the game. You can do it once you have the Phoenix, or maybe you get CLS, you drop it in there. You do this journey, you unlock Palpatine. Palpatine is useful all the way through the end game. Early on, he's going to go with Vader and Mara Jade. By the end game, or really by mid game, he's going with Starkiller. He leads the Starkiller team. That's Palpatine. Yoda, Grandmaster Yoda. Again, these are the first two journeys that were launched, I think, along with R2 in the game. Grandmaster Yoda is a very doable, easy journey. You get 5 Jedi at 7 stars. It could be like Gear 7, I think. You could even have like a bunch of Gear 5 or 4 or 6 Jedi, and then one that's Gear 11 or 12, and boom, you'll be able to get through this journey. It's not that difficult to accomplish. Yoda, again, is a good plug-and-play character from the very time you activate him all the way to the end of the game. He kind of fades a little bit more over time than Palpatine does, but he still fits in places. He goes early on with a Jedi Knight Revan squad. Later on, he can plug into like a Gidme team or a lot of different places, but Yoda is usable all the way through the game and very easy to get. Grand Admiral Thrawn. Now, Grand Admiral Thrawn was always kind of had a reputation as being a challenging event. You get your Phoenix in there at Gear 8, Gear 9, and really take a bunch of shots at it, do it over and over and over again. Now, with the addition of Captain Rex, if you got Captain Rex on your Phoenix squad, I would imagine I haven't done the Admiral Thrawn event with Captain Rex, and everybody's at Gear 8 or 9. I think it'd be pretty easy to get through. Rex just transforms that team with the Zeta on him and makes it doable very much. Thrawn used to be like a top 5 character for years in this game. Then with the Great Nerf of 2021, he kind of faded a little bit. He still has uses. His Fracture has a good purpose and a good use, but he's not as good as he used to be. You got to kind of pick your spots for him, find a really good useful spot as a plug-and-play character. Maybe into an Empire team, but he's pretty squishy and he dies real easy. R2-D2. R2 is a very easy journey. I usually do this with Imperial Troopers early on in the game, maybe Imperial Troopers with Darth Vader, something like that. You can use Palpatine. You can use 5 Empire units. By the way, it's just Phoenix for Thrawn. I should have said that, but only Phoenix for Thrawn. 5 Empire units to get R2-D2. He is relative early in the game. You can put him with that CLS team until you get other characters like Chewpio and 3PO. He can fit with that CLS team. He then can go with Galactic Republic or Resistance or Rebels all the way through the game. He can help you out with like the Jedi, the Rey events as you push those. End game, he goes on that Leia Organa team and he fits right in there, and that's where he goes end game. BB-8 is really doable with a First Order squad, any 5 First Order characters at Gear 8 or so, Gear 8, maybe 9. You can plug and play him. He goes early with a Jedi Training Rey team. He was early meta was Jedi Training Rey 3v3 was Jedi Training Rey with BB-8 and R2-D2. It was a great team a long time ago. But yeah, BB-8, it kind of really fades. And you end up putting him on maybe some droid teams later on in the game. He can go on a Grievous team. He can go on maybe on a Sortie team. I don't know. He kind of has, again, plug and play. Doesn't really fit with Rey as the game goes on, though, which is kind of a little disappointing. Jedi Calus. This is actually the journey that somebody asked me about, and this is a pretty new one in the game. And it's we're getting close to a year here pretty soon. Jedi Calus is really viewed mostly in the game right now as a Jedi Master Luke lifter. Jedi Master Luke is kind of one of the poor performing Galactic Legends in the game, but with Cal Kestis in there, Jedi Knight Cal Kestis, that's where he really fits for the most part. There may be some other uses for him. Somebody mentioned you can do the Zepho special mission with Cal Kestis, maybe get yourself into a big guild, but I'm pretty sure that the Zepho special mission just gives you like Mark III currency or Get 3 currency, which I don't think anybody's bringing you specially on board to a big guild just to get the Zepho mission done. So Jedi Knight Cal, another thing to consider here, and we haven't talked about with the first 4, these are pretty easy gears to get there and to gear up these characters. When you get to a Jedi Knight Cal, it's going to take you a bunch of Chirotechs to get through this. So each of the 4 characters you need to get them, which is Cal Kestis, Seer Junda, Tarful, and Saw Gerrera, they all need a bunch of Chirotechs. You're talking 300 to 400 Chirotechs for each one of those. Probably 300. I didn't look at it, but a lot of Chirotechs there. That's 1,200 right there. Then you need like 400 Chirotechs just to upgrade him. So if you want to get deep into the late game farming gear type of stuff, that's where Jedi Knight Cal Kestis comes in. But he's serving right now, and this could change over time, but he's serving right now as a Jedi Master Luke lifter for the most part. Padme, pretty easy early journey. You can do it with like Gear 12 Geos. You can do it with just a Gear 12 Jango Fett and 4 other Separatists. You can get this thing done. She is useful. She's a really great character. If you don't have a Galactic Legend, she's really good for the Proving Grounds nodes. A bunch of Proving Grounds nodes with Padme, General Kenobi, Anakin, Ahsoka, and 3PO, or maybe Shakti in there as well. Bunch of Proving Ground stuff if you don't have a Galactic Legend. If you have a Galactic Legend, early in the game, it's a pretty good team to use as far as on defense or putting out there. Late game, it turns into Gidme. You put her out there with people. We use her right now with use Padme with Moff Gideon, and that fits there. I don't know, a Dark Trooper and Moff Gideon now, that may change. We'll see what happens with that. CLS, again, a fairly easy early journey and a fairly common one. Actually, probably out of all of these, I'd say the most common so far would be Palpatine, R2, because you got to have R2 to get the CLS, and CLS. CLS is a really popular early journey. He leads to a bunch of Galactic Legends, leads you to Jedi Knight Luke, he leads you to, which goes to Jedi Master Luke, which goes to Jabba. CLS himself will get you to Leia Organa, and CLS's team is an end game team. It will carry you all the way through the game with CLS, Han Solo, Chewbacca, and Chewpio, or 3PO and Chewie. CLS, it's not a hard journey to do. You gotta have the characters like Gear 8, Gear 9, with their upgrades done, but CLS is an end game character in the game. Jedi Training Rey. Really, for the most part now in-game, most people only farm Jedi Training Rey if they're going after Jedi Master Luke or Rey Galactic Legends. She really only fits into that. She's not a great leader on her own anymore, but if she goes with the Rey team, she stacks mastery along the way, and her mastery is dodge, and everybody hates dodge. So if you don't kill her early enough on that Rey Galactic Legend Rey team in the end game or late game, then she can just build up enough dodge that you can never kill her. You can never actually even hit her at all. So that's where Jedi Training Rey falls. It's not a super hard journey, just not super relevant for a lot of early gamers for sure. And she only really goes on that Galactic Legend Rey team at the end. You can find some other uses for her, but you don't see a lot of her as a leader anymore for Jedi Training Rey. Beskar Mando, not a difficult event. Gear 9, Gear 10 for your scoundrels, Cara Dune, Mandalorian, Queel, IG-11, and Grief Karga. Rest in peace, Apollo Creed. Carl Weathers. Rest in peace, buddy. That's anyway. Love that guy. Anyway, Beskar Mando. You need Beskar Mando to get the Razor Crest activated, to get the Executor. And that's really where most of his usefulness comes in. However, he does fit into a lot of endgame teams. He works with Fennec Shand to kill Lord Vader in the endgame. And you can just find a lot of plug-and-play uses for him in the endgame, too. He's a lot of fun as a character when you can find the right use. But, you know, he kind of does lack a specific team to work with. But Beskar Mando, you need him for the Executor for sure. The Chimera. Hey, the Chimera is an endgame fleet right now. If you get the Inquisitors, you get Grand Inquisitor, you have the Scythe, you can counter Leviathan with the Chimera. The Chimera is a really good fleet all the way through the game, from beginning to end game. By the end game, again, if you're countering Leviathan with this fleet, or you're countering Executor with this fleet, it is such a great fleet, and it always has been. It faded there for a while, but it's back in spades now, and you got to have Thrawn to have it as well. It's not super hard to unlock. You got to have the Phoenix, and I think 5 Rebel ships, maybe 4 Rebel ships. Not a super hard to unlock, and it has relevance all the way through the end game. You need the TIE Defender, and the Scythe, and maybe the TIE Interceptor as well, but mainly TIE Defender and Scythe will make this Chimera a great fleet for you. Dr. Afra. Dr. Afra is now, we're in double node farmable. She's a great character, man. She counters Galactic Legends with the right datacrons. She does a lot of really great things in the game. And her team is right there with BT1 and Triple O are in the farm itself, which is kind of nice because a lot of these farms you're looking at, the team that you're going to use with them is not in the farm. Maybe with Jedi Master Yoda. No. Jedi Cal, no. A lot of these teams, CLS, not really, no. I think that maybe Jedi Training Ray, a lot of her team is in there. Yeah, so for a lot of these teams, Dr. Afra, so far, is the first one who really fits that the majority of her team is actually in the farm for Dr. Afra with those 2 droids. So she's a great character. Should you farm her early in the game? I don't know. Again, there's a lot of Chirotechs in this journey. If you look at these top 3 right here, a lot of Chirotechs required for these top 3 at the top of tier 4 here for journeys. She's a really, really good character. She doesn't really lead anywhere yet. She's kind of her standalone. She's not required for any other journeys right now. So I like her. I love her. She does a great job. Should you farm her early? Probably wait till mid-game to get Dr. Afra farmed. You just realize you're going to need a ton of Chirotechs. Grand Inquisitor. Now, you need Grand Inquisitor to get Reva shards. If you get a Grand Inquisitor team at Relic 7, you probably can get into a guild doing Rise of the Empire territory battles to get yourself a bunch more gear and the highest tier of territory battles because everybody wants to get those Reva shards. So Grand Inquisitor is there. Not a great team until you get Reva. It's an okay team until you get Reva. But yeah, and again, Chirotechs, Starkiller. Hey, Starkiller is a must-have for the mid-gamer. He kills Rey. You can kill other Galactic Legends in the right settings for him. You can put him on defense early on for Grand Arena. In Grand Arena, Starkiller is a killer. In territory battles, if you get the Juhani and you put her Omicron on her, again, just stands up there in territory wars as well. Starkiller is pretty much a must-have for those mid-gamers. You get some great characters along the way, too, with Dash Rendar, Darth Talon, Mara Jade for that Starkiller team. She actually goes on the team. And then there's one more one. Oh, Kyle Katarn goes on your Mon Mothma team. Jedi Knight Revan and Darth Revan kind of go together because they lead you to Darth Malak when you unlock both of them. They are still relevant at this point of the game. They are relevant early all the way to end game. You know, you end up adding Darth Malgus to your Darth Revan team eventually. You end up moving Jedi Knight Revan over to a Jedi Master Luke team. But these guys are so relevant all the way through the games. Their farms are not difficult. You get the Old Republic. You get some Old Republic and Sith Empire characters. Get them up to Relic 9. You can get through these events with some challenges in between. Relic 10 maybe. And probably you're going to go ahead and gear up characters like Bastila Shan Fallen, Jolie Bindo. You're going to probably take them to Gear 12 or Relic characters anyway. Once you get to those levels, these journeys are easy, and these characters are super bangers all the way through the game. They're really awesome. Jedi Knight Revan and Darth Revan, highly recommend them. Same thing for Chewie. You need bounty hunters to unlock Chewie. He fits on that CLS team all the way to the end of the game, boys and girls. Chewie goes with Han. It makes sense. They're pals. They're buddies. They work really well together in game. You can put them together under like a Beskar Mando lead or Wedge in 3v3 while you got CLS over there with 3PO and Chewpio. And Chewie is a great all-character all the way through the game. The journey is a difficult one. You do have to get some Gear 12 bounty hunters. You can do it with less, but you're going to be doing it for a long time. You better have some good mods. The Chewie journey is difficult with lower gear levels, but hey man, you get those bounty hunters up there. It's a fun event, and Chewie's a great character. C-3PO, same thing. You gotta have those Ewoks. Generally speaking, Gear 11 Ewoks with their upgrades will get this done. If you got Princess Nisa, she kind of puts this event on its ears, and you can do it with lower level Ewoks. She just changes the whole event. But 3PO, relevant all the way early to end game on that CLS team. He goes with CLS all the time. That's really the primary place he goes. C-3PO is a super relevant character all the way through the game. The Millennium Falcon. You need bounty hunter ships to unlock them. It takes you a little while to farm those ships. Ships are a long farm for sure, no matter how you do it. The Millennium Falcon is an interesting ship. It can function early on Home 1, but just kind of kind of has faded over time on home one, but when you get to mid to late game and you unlock Profundity, Millennium Falcon is in the starting lineup. It's necessary in that lineup. It is what makes that fleet really go. I mean, I know the other Outrider and everything, but Millennium Falcon is the damage dealer. It does all the work. It's just a great ship to have. Early game, all the way through end game, especially end game with that Profundity. Executor, I love this as your first farm in the game because you need the Executor to get through to Squad Arena or to Fleet Arena Crystals. The Executor is so important, and it's of these 3 capital ships you can farm your Executor, Profundity, Leviathan. It's the easiest farm, easy. I really love Executor. Overlaps with Kylo Ren or Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. It overlaps with Chewbacca up there. It overlaps with Millennium Falcon. Overlaps with a bunch of with the Imperial Troopers, which I love. A bunch of stuff here. Executor, it's going to take you a minute to farm it, free to play or pay to play. I did it in 6 months with limited pay to play with the Hyperdrive bundle and like $50 a month. You can get it unlocked in 6 months. It's a great ship. I love it. I love it. And it should be your first capital ship unlock. And for those who say it shouldn't, you're wrong. In early fleet arenas, this thing dominates those fleet arenas for sure. Profundity comes later on, and by the way, all these capital ships here are relevant from the time you unlock them until end game, whether you're using them in Fleet Arena to climb to the top of Fleet Arena, or using them in Grand Arena to play defense, or in Territory Battles, Territory Wars. They're all relevant. Profundity is going to come after that. It's going to be a big Rogue One farm for you. You're going to have to farm your Rogue One characters, including Admiral Radis, who is the pilot, or the Admiral. He's not the pilot. He's the Admiral of this capital ship. It's a relevant ship mid-game all the way through endgame. I mean, early game it would be too if you unlock it. I just really think you should wait till mid-game to unlock it. But Profundity is a great fleet to have. You need all those Rebel ships and the Rogue One to get it. By the way, everything down here is going to be super Kyrotech heavy. Everything down here is going to be Kyrotech heavy, with the possible exception of, well, these characters are Jedi. We'll talk about it in a minute. These farms are going to need some Kyrotechs. Especially Profundity and Leviathan. Leviathan, maybe not Kyrotechs for Leviathan. I don't know, I have to look at. Actually, I don't know, but I'm about to do that next. How many Kyrotechs you need for each of these journeys? But for Leviathan, you do need a bunch of Relic 9. Like, you need Darth Revan and Darth Malak at Relic 9. Everybody else is Relic 7 and a couple Relic 5s. It's a difficult journey. Plus, you need Darth Malgus's, can't remember the name of the Fury class interceptor, which is only available through Conquest and soon Proving Grounds. So Leviathan is a heavy duty farm for you boys and girls out there. But Leviathan, Profundity, these are all challenging farms, but they're good all the way through the end game. Darth Malak is going to be from Jedi Knight Revan and Darth Revan. You basically get these guys unlocked, you get them geared up to gear 12 and relic levels, and you go get Darth Malak. He is an end game character, go all the way through the game. Gas is going to be going to get a bunch of Separatists. You're going to get Separatist droids. You're going to get several of your Galactic Republic, specifically Padme, 3PO. 3PO fits everywhere, by the way. Padme, 3PO, General Kenobi, Ahsoka, and Shakti. Then you're going to get your Separatist droids with Asajj Ventress, Magna Guard, Droideka, or Destroyer Droid, and B1 and B2. That's going to get you gas. Once you get the 500 burst up with him, he is relevant all the way through the end game. He is a great character. He's generally recognized as maybe the best of all these characters here, although CLS now with his full team beats gas. So CLS Gas, Jedi Knight Luke are recognized as pretty much the best down here. Jedi Knight Luke is a great journey. His journey will get you in great shape for Jabba and Jedi Master Luke and Leia Organa. He's a great character to have. He's kind of a plug-and-play character. Eventually, he will go on your Jedi Master Luke squad, or in 3v3, you can just use him out there with Hermit Yoda on his own. Jedi Knight Luke is a lot of fun to play in game. Plus, he makes the assault battles where you use the Jedi. That assault battle becomes conquerable with Jedi Knight Luke on your roster. Then we get to Bo-Katan. This is going to be super-duper Kyrotechs down here. She's rumored to be really awesome, but only like 900 people have unlocked her so far, so I would not recommend this for the early game player. It's going to be a late game farm for sure. So that's it for those. For guild journeys, these 3 guys, you're going to be farming them now with your guild event tokens. I recommend farming all of them as early as you can. They're all great characters all the way through. As soon as you unlock them, all the way through to the end game. You need an Omicron on Traya, but these are great characters all the way through. Same thing for Reva. Rolo, not so much a good character, but you need her to get Jedi Knight Luke. You need her to get Leia Organa. So you need her for 3 Galactic Legend farms. Imperial Probe Droid has not appeared and is not a real useful character right now, and is not really popped up anywhere as far as Galactic Legend farms, which really surprised surprised me. I thought they'd throw her in there with the Leia Organa farm, but they did not. There must be some future plan for it. Imperial Probe Droid. It just doesn't really fit in a lot of places right now and isn't a real useful character. Wat Tambor, you get in the Dark Side Geonosis territory battles. By the way, Reva is unlocked in Rise of the Empire territory battles, and she's a great character. She counters Galactic Legends. She just transforms that Inquisitor squad into something very, very special. But you need to have that Inquisitor squad. If you're going to get into a guild that's getting Reva shards, most guilds are going to require you to have that Grand Inquisitor team in order at Relic 7 to get there, because that's what they want you to participate with unlocking Reva for them. Wat Tambor, Geonosis Dark Side territory battles. I recommend that if you're a new player or an early player, get into a guild doing Dark Side Geonosis territory battles until you have Wat Tambor at 7 stars. He is a great support character, plug and play. He goes in. You can put him with Sith Eternal, you can put him with Supreme Leader Kylo, you can put him in a lot of different places, and he really fits in a lot of different places. He's found in Dark Side Geonosis territory battles. Cam, Ki Adi Mundi, is a Galactic Republic Jedi support. He fits on a lot of those teams as well. And, you know, Qui-Gon Jinn with his Omicron, he really kind of fits there the best. But he is available in Light Side Geonosis territory battles, which is kind of a dinosaur. Really, for most guilds that can do Light Side Geonosis territory battles, they've switched over to Rise of the Empire territory battles. So they're kind of farming Cam. Cam's kind of an enigma at this point. Like, he's a nice support, and he's a good support. He's not really a need to have, though, the way that Wat Tambor is or the way that Reva is for territory battle farming. And so, and by the way, early to latest is going to be Rolo and Imperial Probe Droid are going to be in the Hoth territory battles, which is the very earliest guilds. These two, Wat Tambor will be Dark Side Geonosis territory battles. Next step up is Cam in your Light Side territory battles. And then your Rise of the Empire is your final boss territory battle. Galactic Legends, as far as farming from ease to difficulty goes, well, that seems to change a lot here with Lightspeed bundles recently, but from my experience and actually doing a lot of these farms free to play in the game, Sith Eternal is the easiest farm. Rey and Kylo are the next two easiest farms. Probably Jedi Master Luke or Jabba or the next easiest farms. Although, pretty soon, Galactic Legend Leia is going to drop into 4th place behind these guys. Why is Galactic Legend Leia in 4th place? Well, these three, there's some journeys and stuff, but the Chirotechs are pretty light here. But when you look at Galactic Legend Leia Organa, that's a truckload of Chirotechs. There's not a lot of journeys involved. There's no ships involved. But you need a lot of Chirotechs to unlock Galactic Legend Leia Organa. Probably that's my next update video. I'll do how many Chirotechs you need for each one of these journeys. So I would say, if you're looking for an easy, low-hanging fruit Galactic Legend, it's one of these three right here, Sith Eternal, Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, or Rey. If you're looking for a really good Galactic Legend you can farm without a lot of hassle, and it just needs a lot of Chirotechs, that's going to be your Leia Organa. These two characters right here, Jedi Master Kenobi really needs Commander Ahsoka to be fully effective. Otherwise, he's very beatable, or beatable at least. Much less effective without Commander Ahsoka on his team. So if you're not at 4 million and improving grounds and unlocking Commander Ahsoka, I really don't advise you to get Jedi Master Kenobi. The same thing gets to be said for Maul with Lord Vader. Although Lord Vader, if you get the right Datacron out there, can really still be super duper effective in the game. These three right here, Jabba, Luke, and Leia, go together with a lot of farming, a lot of overlap between their three farms with Jedi Knight Luke, Han Solo, 3PO, Chewbacca, Chewpio. They all kind of go together here. A lot of overlap between these three of farming. But yeah, that's all I have to say about that. There you go, boys and girls. Woo! That is your high-level overview of the journey guide. I only went through that fast. Hope that helps you out. Some of you guys look at the journeys like, what the heck should I do? You know, they're pretty well ordered here as far as priority from early game to end game. Although I just would say the ones on the top here. So if you look at Jedi Knight Cal Kestis, Afra, Inquisitors, and Grand Inquisitor and Starkiller, and these three. If you want to look at difficulty of farms and most Chirotechs needed or most relic levels needed, you can look at that top row for sure. When there's only one row, those are pretty low-hanging fruit or easier farms. When they're on the top, they're going to be more difficult farms and require a lot more gear and a lot more effort and time invested for you. So there you go, boys and girls. There is your high-level journey guide overview. Hopefully this helps you beginners out there, or maybe even you early gamers, maybe you guys in mid-game not sure what journey to do next, to look at what you're doing in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. I hope you have a great day. I will talk to you soon. Maybe next time I'll be out here to upgrade how many Chirotechs you need for each one of these farms. Yeah, I'll talk to you soon. Have a good one. Always remember, Nooch too good.